Guys, Kev here, and I'm ready to do my review on the Off Grid Knives Scorpion here. So I also have a package to unbox from Off Grid Knives. So you can see there, Off Grid Knives. I reached out to them. I don't know if you recall from my original unboxing video. Afterwards, I went ahead and flipped the clip over to the left side here because I am left-handed. And when I did so, it felt like one of the screws was starting to strip out. Not the actual screw, but the head a little bit. So I reached out to them and asked for replacement screws just to be careful. I never like to keep screws like that in a knife because if I go to take it apart or switch the screw over when I loan it out to somebody, I could easily strip that out and then I can't get it out easily. And then I got to go into a whole machine process, have somebody get it out. So I'd rather just replace the screw, make sure I have a good one in there and be good to go. So they were very kind. I emailed with somebody over there named Julie, I believe, or Julia. Shout out to her. She was super nice. She just asked for my address, said we're going to send it out. And she said, I think she said there's some extras in there. So I'm not sure if there's just extra screws in here or extra stuff because it feels like a lot more than just screws. So I will be opening this package at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But first, I wanted to go over the Off Grid Knives Scorpion. So I've had this for a few weeks now. I picked it up on Knife Swap. These retail for about $230. I picked this up on the secondary on Reddit Knife Swap, which I've talked about plenty of times. I love that website. Check it out if you haven't. It is one of the best places to sell, trade, buy, and just communicate with knife people like yourself. And I picked this up for $150. Brand new in box, basically. I think the guy might have carried it one time. There's no signs of wear anywhere on this knife when I got it. There's a little bit now, but that's because I've been carrying this thing nonstop. I absolutely love the action. I love the knife overall, so a little spoiler there. This is very positive. So to start, in terms of aesthetics, you have this really cool looking knife. It's a biggin' boy. It's a 4-inch blade. You got a long knife overall. It's got to be close to 8.5 inches probably. But you can always look the specs up online. I know they sell these at Amazon. They sell it on their website, offgridknives.com. But yeah, you have this cool reverse Tanto blade on here. Comes down to a nice point. It is not the most dainty tip, but it's also not the most robust. Very usable blade shape. It's almost kind of like a drop point as well. But I believe it's listed as a reverse Tanto, and I can definitely see that. It is S35VN steel. The steel marking is down there. It's going to be really hard for you guys to see that. It's made by WE Knives. I know that for a fact, but one of the giveaways is, there's two of them, for me anyway. One is that steel marking being so tiny down there, and the placement of it. And the other is the action. It just feels like a WE knife. I can feel out a WE knife by its action. I can feel out a Riot knife by its action. It's just something you can kind of tell. Benchmade, but that's usually because of the axis lock, but the action it's a very light detent. So anyway, you could tell it's a WE, which is a very good thing. WE is a very good Chinese OEM. This is made in China. Yeah, and I am really liking it. You have these really cool carbon fiber inlays here. You have two on each side, one here on the lock side, and then this little one down here as well on the lock side. And then you have the two bigger ones on the show side, which of course the clip is covering up one. because I am left-handed. I know some people think that's blasphemy. Even if they're left-handed, they don't reverse clips because they don't want to ruin the show side of a knife. I care more about the carry than I do the look of the show side. Plus, ergonomically, it feels better to have the clip over there. So yeah, the clip, while we're talking about it, goes all the way to the butt of the knife. It even goes past the butt of the knife. You can see there. And the only drawback to this clip is that it is inset into the scale, into the titanium, but there's these button head screws there. Now, in use, it has not been a hindrance whatsoever. I've never caught it up on my jeans and been like, oh man, those button head screws are really screwing things up. There's enough room here to get past material. I've never had an issue with it. There are certain ones that, certain knives that have this that do have that issue, but this is not one of them. So I don't even really see that as a negative, just something to point out. But the clip in general has really good tension. It's so smooth going in and out of pocket, and it's such a thin knife that you barely feel it. It's a very good knife in pocket, and for a 4-inch, pocket sword type blade, it's really cool that it is almost unnoticeable in your pocket. You do have the flipper tab, but I never really had that be an issue in my front pocket. I did carry this a lot in my back right pocket, which was extremely comfortable. I really just never noticed it was there until I wanted to go ahead and take it out. The action on this knife, again, is just quality WE action. It flies out of there, and it basically has a controlled close. That's kind of a WE thing as well. They don't necessarily guillotine shut, but they have a very smooth close, especially when you add a little bit of KPL like I did to the bearings and to the detent track. I do that with all my knives, and it really helps a lot with most knives. KPL is an amazing lubricant. I don't use any other kind, so I'm not aware of different kinds. I think I tried Tough Glide once, and that just was horrible. It just did not give me the action I desired. KPL just makes things so smooth. They do tend to, I will say, things tend to gunk up a little bit quicker with KPL, but I will definitely take that trade-off to get some action like this. So that's up to you if you care about that. There's a little bit of detent lash. Now, it's not to the point where it's an issue, but I do want to bring it up. And it could just be with this specific knife, but you can move the blade just a tiny bit where the detent ball is sitting inside the blade. The hole is just a tiny bit too big, and it can move a little bit. It's barely anything. I think most people would not even notice it, but I can feel a tiniest bit of take up before I pull the flipper there. Again, really minor detail. I'm nitpicking here because I don't want to just say this is the perfect knife, but it is very close to being a perfect knife. It's very excellent. You can fail this. So you can fail it by kind of just lazily pulling on the flipper. But if you try it all, light switch, easy, push button, easy. So, I mean, you really have to try to fail it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the detent. Could it have been a little bit stiffer? Yeah. I mean, why not? It's a flipper only. It's not like you also have studs or something else to compete with. So the detent just needs to be dialed in for the flipper. But I honestly have never failed it while fidgeting with it. I've only failed it on purpose. So there's that. Ergonomically, this thing is phenomenal in the hand. My hand is a large glove-sized hand. It fits perfectly into the handle here. I have a little bit of room sticking out here. It's very comfortable. The clip is not a hot spot at all. I can spread my fingers out, which is nice. Usually I'm cramped up on a blade. I would love to have a finger choil here that would make it even better than it is. But even without that, you have plenty of control. You can do kind of like a pinch grip and get up and use this tip. It's a very usable tip. I did use this earlier today to cut out some shipping labels that I printed off. I'll cut around the edges instead of using scissors because I'm a knife guy, and I like to use my knives for stupid things that I don't need to because I have to make excuses. So it's a good cutter. It's very thin behind the edge. It cuts through paper like nobody's business. That is all I've cut with it. I think I might have opened a package or two. Again, this tip is very usable. You can pinch grip it and basically do anything you need to do. And that's on a 4-inch blade. So that's just amazing to me. You do have a satin finish on this S35VN, so it does pick up fingerprints, which is why I'm kind of wiping it off a lot. Yeah, so overall, this is just a fantastic EDC knife. If you like big blades, and even if you don't, I normally don't carry a huge blade. I've been getting into them, but even if you don't like huge blades, this knife just seems to work like a smaller knife does, but it just happens to have a 4-inch blade on it. So overall, it's fantastic value. So for $230, I do think this is a little bit steep. You know, you got black wash or black anode titanium with thin carbon fiber inlays, I would have to guess. You can barely feel the transitions, but you can feel them a little bit. It is good carbon fiber. But for that and an S35VN blade, $220 is a little steep. I would have liked to have seen 20CV for that price or M390 for that price. Or just have seen the price maybe drop to $199. I think $199 is reasonable. For the $150 I paid and what you would probably pay on the secondary, this is 100% worth that. But at $230, it's kind of up to you if you're willing to spend that little bit extra. But I think $200 would be dead on for this. So I can definitely recommend this knife to a lefty. It has the reversible clip. Ergonomics work very good for a lefty. The close action is very easy. You just push the lock bar over, pull it down, and you're good to go because the flipper tab there helps hit your thumb. For a righty, I can definitely recommend this. The closing action is really good. This frame lock here is a little bit thin, and the knife overall is a little bit thin. Some people might take issue with that. I really like that because of how it carries. And when you push on the lock bar here as a righty, sometimes it gives me a little bit of trouble. I think because of how thin it is, but it could also be just because I'm not right-handed. So I'm not, you know, that used to doing this, although I do it all the time. I do. But yeah, the flipper tab is extremely comfortable. You have a little bit of jimping there. You have some jimping up here on the end of the blade here, or the front of the blade, however you want to put that. Works very well. There's jimping on the sides, down the side of the back spacer. You don't really feel, so they're kind of a non thing. You know, they're not an issue, and you know, aesthetically, yeah, sure, they look good. It could have just been plain too, it would have been fine. This does come in 3 variations. So it comes in the satin blade, I believe, like this, with a gunmetal kind of titanium handle, same inlays. It comes in this variation here, and then it comes in an all blackout variation, which is this handle, but with a DLC coated blade. That one's pretty cool. But they're all sold out, the blackout ones, I think. I think you can still get this version right now off their website, and I'm not sure what Amazon has, so feel free to check those out. Yeah, so overall, fantastic knife. I want to get into what Off Grid Knives sent me here. I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up. All right. We have some packaging stuff. We have a note. Okay. Hi, Kevin. Here's more screws, and we added a black titanium clip. Might look cool on the gray wash. Also added our Kubotan keychain. Not out yet. Take care, Carrie. Check that out, guys. Off Grid Knives hooked it up. All right, let's see what we got in here. So he's talking about a black titanium clip. So the one on here, this does look like a black titanium clip, so let's see. Maybe he thought I had a different model, I'm not sure. I think that's the Kubotan. Is there anything else in here? No, okay. Let me get this stuff out of the way. So they did throw in extra screws. So I have 2 screws here and a sticker, and then he added the same clip that I already have. So I think he thought that I had the gray gunmetal one, but I actually have the black one with the black clip. So basically, he just gave me an extra clip, which is awesome. That's fantastic. I really appreciate that, Carrie. Man, that's cool of you guys to just throw in an extra clip and throw in this Kubotan. Check this out. Now, I'm not a tactical guy, but definitely check this out. So it is exactly that, a Kubotan, which is like a tactical pokey weapon. You can see here, Off Grid Knives. So basically the way a Kubotan works is, as far as I know, I have no training and I know nothing, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. Man, I went into that one like I knew something, huh? So I'm guessing you wrap your hand like this, put your thumb on the end here, and then you basically have a pokey end to stab at pressure points. That's what I understand, at least. I mean, you could probably just poke this into whatever you want, but you're supposed to go for like certain pressure points that you would know because you would have training, okay? So don't be like me, kids. But anyway, look, you can get your thumb in this key ring here. I don't know if that's safe or not. And then you can go to town, you know, test this out on a dummy, get a pumpkin or a watermelon or something. I might have to do that. Maybe I'll do a video where I stab a pumpkin or a watermelon with the Kubotan. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments. Pick a fruit. But yeah, this is cool, and I got the extra clip. So I really appreciate that, guys. I appreciate Off Grid Knives. Thank you so much, Carrie. That's really cool. And of course, here is the Off Grid Knives Scorpion, the ball of the show. Bell of the show? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is an awesome EDC knife. Check it out. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will catch up with you later.